Hi everyone, welcome to our brand new and free HTML tutorial series. In this series, I'll be teaching you HTML from the beginning to a pro level front-end designing. Note, this tutorial is for everyone. If you are a pro coder, you must know there is always something new to learn in HTML. And if you are a beginner, don't worry, it's easy to learn than flying an F-18 jet aeroplane. By the end of this series, you'll be knowing much about HTML and will be able to code your own website. So let's get started. So, to start coding in HTML, you must know what is HTML or Hypertext Markup Language. You can find this blog link in the description. So, what is HTML? HTML is a standard markup language for documents designed to be displayed in a web browser. The hypertext is the text that is used to reference other pieces of text or content, while a markup language is a series of markings that tell the web server the style and structure of the document. It can be assisted by technologies such as cascading style sheets aka CSS and scripting languages such as JavaScript. Now, thing to know, is HTML a programming language? No my friends, HTML is not considered as a programming language as it can create only dynamic functionality. Instead, with HTML, web users can create structured sections such as paragraphs and links by using simple element tags and attributes. So, do you want to know how your HTML page is rendered in your browser? Web browsers receive HTML documents from your web server or from your local storage and renders the document into multimedia web pages and displayed on your web browser. So, what are the most common uses of HTML? First and foremost, web development. Developers use HTML code to design how a web browser display the web page or elements such as text, hyperlinks and media files or any other content. It is also used for internet navigation. Users can easily navigate and insert links between related pages and websites, as HTML is heavily used to embed hyperlinks. And finally, it is also used for web documentation. HTML makes it possible to organize and format documents similar to Microsoft. So, what are the main parts of HTML elements? HTML elements are the main building blocks of HTML pages. The element takes up the entire width of the page and it is always start in a new line in the document. The main parts of HTML elements are as follows. Opening tag, used to state where an element starts to take effect. The tag is wrapped with opening and closing angular brackets. And next is your content. This is the output that your web browser renders and the end users can see. And last, closing tag. Users see the closing tag same as the opening tag, but with a forward slash before the element name of a simple HTML Hello World program. The HTML tag is the root element that defines the whole HTML document and can be written like this. And right next to the HTML tag, we find head tag. It holds meta information such as page title and other metadata. In body tag, we can enclose all the content that has to appear on the web page. In styles tag, we can define our CSS aka cascading style sheets, and finally in your script tag, we can place our jQuery or JavaScript or other DOM elements to provide functionality to our web pages. As any other language, HTML has its own pros and cons. Pros: it is beginner friendly. HTML has a clean and consistent markup, as well as a shallow and easy learning curve. Support: the language is widely used, with a lot of resources and large community behind using it. Accessible: it is open source and completely free. HTML runs natively in all web browsers flexibly. Cons: it is static. The language is primarily used for static web pages. For dynamic functionalities, you may need to use JavaScript or backend languages such as PHP. Separate HTML pages. Users have to create individual or separate web pages for HTML, even if the elements are on the same browser. Compatibility. Some web browsers adopt new features slowly, so sometimes older browser items don't always render newer tags. All in all, HTML is a markup language that defines the structure of your content by making elements appear in a certain way. That's it. Yada. You are familiar with the HTML. Thank you.